Welcome back to another brand new episode of our Crystal Isles live Let's Play series. Now, we recorded this offline because we did a lot of stuff around our house while we were actually raising up some baby dinos and taming that pteranodon. And one of those things, which is going to be incredibly helpful, is we made some cryopods. Now, cryopods are like Pokeballs in Ark, and you can carry your dinosaurs in your pocket anywhere you go, and they are going to be incredibly helpful for the rest of our series, and we can actually build them as soon as we hit level 51. So we'll show you guys some of the easiest places to get all the materials you need to build cryopods right next to this mountain that we live on in the White Shoals on the Crystal Isles map. And if you want to know more about how to use cryopods or any of the materials you can gather in huge quantities all over the Crystal Isles, check out the links in the description because we'll put a lot of guides there that'll be super helpful for later. And once we make our cryopods, we're going to try to tame a male tech Parasaur and see if we can start up our tech Parasaur breeding program, which will be super helpful throughout the rest of the game. And if you watch this video till the end, you can see an amazing rock that defies gravity. And if you want to leave your legacy on this series and this channel forever, drop a comment and let us know some suggestions that you'd like to name our male tech Parasaur, and we'll check those out and we might actually put your name in the series. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to enable all notifications so you don't miss our next video, and maybe you can chat with us live while we play live next time. So let's get started. So we did a whole bunch of stuff around our home base while we've been breeding these dinosaurs because we needed to stay close by to home so we could constantly feed them and make sure they didn't starve. Now, we've been leveling up like crazy because we're mass producing a lot of helpful things, and check it out, we finally hit level 51, which is one of the greatest milestones in Ark because we can finally make cryopods, and we're going to show you guys how to do that. Now, we did a whole bunch of stuff at the same time, recorded it all offline because there's a lot of stuff we've been building, including this fabricator here, which we'll show you later. But the most important thing we're going to do right now is actually build some cryopods. Now, there's some relatively difficult materials to get that we need for those cryopods. It's going to be a little bit more challenging because it's more high level, you know, closer to endgame stuff. And the first thing we need is a bunch of oil in order to make these. Now, as of a patch a while ago, we can actually craft cryopods right in loot drop containers. But the first thing we're going to need to do is get all the materials we need so that when a loot drop does show up somewhere that we can see it, we can go straight to get it. And the first thing we're going to do is go scuba diving for some oil without the scuba gear. Yeah, you can see my oxygen level is going down fast because I haven't put any stats into oxygen. And unlike on Ark Genesis, when you can hold your breath and swim really fast for a very long time, it's gonna run out really quick. We're almost out of air, so I've got just enough to get to the bottom, grab one thing of oil, and we're actually just gonna abandon any idea of grabbing pearls or any more oil because we're already drowning. Might have to put a little bit of stats into oxygen, but I've got a nice little trick that'll let us breathe underwater for like 15 minutes if we cook a cooking recipe called Lazarus Chowder, which we'll probably get into that later on in the series. But for now, we'll just grab enough oil to make a couple of cryopods and run straight back to our base because we have a blue pteranodon we're taming and a bunch of babies that are starving, and we have to pay pretty close attention to all of those things to make sure no disasters happen. So we'll check on everybody and be right back and grab the next materials we need for our cryopods. So if you want to get a lot of oil, we actually have a whole guide on all the best places to get oil, and you can get hundreds, maybe thousands of oil per hour if you use some of these places in the guide. So check the link in the description if you want to get a lot of that in some more dangerous areas. But that was a super easy, quick place for us to just grab enough oil to make these cryopods. And we've got a lot of the materials we need. There's crystal all over the Crystal Isles, as their name implies, and we've been just picking it up all all over the place. Basically, most of these blue crystals have some places we can harvest crystal below them, and we do have a whole guide on where to find the best crystal locations on the Crystal Isles map, so check the link in the description for that too. But for now, we're just going to show you guys how to get some easy organic polymer, which is the next really difficult material we need from those cryopods. Now, we're going to go for organic polymer because when we get it, it's just ready to use, ready to go, and we're probably going to be able to get enough for our cryopods right here in this bay, which is actually right next to the swampy area on our island. But if we wanted to get regular polymer, we would have to actually harvest obsidian nodes, which are usually found in really dangerous places. The closest ones are actually in the jungle, which is, off in the distance. You can barely see those trees where you can find it. And we'd have to combine that with metal and some cementing paste. The material cost gets expensive. It's a lot of work. And we just don't really want to do all that right now. So, oh, there we go, right there. That is a Hesperornis, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So Hesperornis are kind of like a cormorant, or maybe just a really ugly goose that wants to kill you all the time. I mean, I guess most geese do want to kill you all the time, right? They can be pretty ill-natured birds. So I'm checking around to see if everything's pretty safe, and I'm actually going to load up some regular arrows because we actually want to kill this thing. They are pretty difficult to tame. They've got some interesting stuff if you can actually tame one. You can get them to lay eggs and actually cook the eggs for oil, which is a passive way to get oil from your base. And man, I cannot seem to hit this dang thing. And of course, I seem to be getting bitten by piranhas. Cool, okay. Why not, right? All right, so let me get back a little bit, see if this thing will chase me. These things do very little actual damage to you, but they are so nasty and ill-tempered. They will try to kill you, even though it's just a tiny little duck. So I don't think one's ever actually killed me, but they can get really annoying, and they're quite persistent. So there we go, perfect. So killed it right outside the range where the piranhas can't get it. And I'm actually using a wooden club to hit this thing because wooden clubs get way more organic polymer than any other weapons. I guess there might be a couple other ways that are better, but you can get quite a lot from a regular wooden club, and 26 organic polymer is actually going to be enough to make several cryopods. And that actually should be all the materials we need. We've got the rest of it right there in our base, and oh, perfect. We could not have asked for better timing, because in order to actually craft the cryopods, we can't make them in our inventory. If we were at a high-tech tier, we could actually make them in a tech replicator, but the other way to do it is to just grab a loot drop, put all the materials in there, and it'll let us craft it right out of the loot drop. So that's going to be really helpful. But it will take a minute for this thing to actually come all the way down. For now, I'm going to check and just make sure there's nothing dangerous that's going to try to eat us when we land there, because it's actually touching the water, and there's a lot of crocs and nasty stuff that swims around in that water, including spinosaurs. You might actually see a spino down there. So we're going to run back to our base, get the rest of the materials we need for the cryopods, probably 2 of them, and then we'll head back over once that loot drop hits the ground. Now, we do have to be pretty quick getting all the materials that we need to craft these cryopods, because the organic polymer actually spoils pretty quickly, and when it spoils, it just completely disappears. And if you stack it all up in higher stacks, it disappears a little bit less quickly, but in order to actually preserve it, we would need a snail, believe it or not. You can't just put it in a preserving bin. So we're grabbing some metal here. We are dropping off enough stuff so we won't be too heavy to actually fly over there. Just going to double check, make sure I've got all the materials that we need, and we also have to get some crystal, fiber, hide, all that good stuff, and we are going to lock everything up and fly back over to the nearest loot drop, which hopefully has finished dropping at this point. So we should have enough organic polymer left to make a couple of cryopods, and I actually haven't talked a lot about why we want these cryopods, because they are incredible and they are going to completely change our lives. So you remember that other live episode where we tamed a really cool tech raptor and it got knocked off our raft by a capro and eaten while we were taming our Dodicarus? Yeah, that was pretty rough. You guys all told me I shouldn't try that. I wanted to try it anyway because those Dodicarus are amazing and it was worth losing a raptor, but it was a very cool tech raptor. crafter. Now, if we had had cryopods at the time, we could have put it in a cryopod. It's basically a Pokeball, and we would have been able to keep it there and not have to actually lose it. It would have just been an item in our inventory. So that's what we'll be able to do from now on. We can just carry our dinos in our pockets all the way back home. So I've moved all of the stuff, all the materials, into the loot drop here, and as you can see, we actually have the cryopod recipe in the loot drops menu. There's also some stuff in the loot drop we can get, like the saddle. If you pick up the saddle, or any of the loot in the loot crate, it will all disappear and the loot crate disappears. So you've got to make sure you keep anything in there and then you remove it all at the same time, because as soon as it's empty, it's gone. And you also want to work pretty quickly, because that thing can actually despawn before you actually make your cryopods. And I have had that happen seconds before I actually finished crafting. The whole thing just disappeared right after I landed. So be quick with it, do it as soon as it lands, and make sure it doesn't despawn when your stuff is actually in its inventory too. So now that we've got a couple cryopods, I'm just gonna see if this thing's low enough level for me to kill it with a barrel roll. I love doing barrel rolls on stuff, but looks like he has got enough health that I can't just peck him to death. But hey, it was worth a try. If he was a low enough level, I might have been able to kill him for some easy meat and hide, since we are going through a lot of food raising our other baby pteranodons. And I know that's kind of weird feeding them pteranodon, but don't think too hard about that. So now that we have our two cryopods, we're going to see if we can tame this tech parasaur that I saw across the way while I was scouting around for loot drops. So while I was out scouting around, I saw a male tech parasaur, which is a nice blue color too. It's always great. But the reason I'm excited about that is because we have a female tech parasaur down at the bottom of the beach. We never actually brought her up because it's a very dangerous trip to get her up here. But now that we have cryopods, we can just pick her up in the cryopod and take her back to our base. And if we can pull off taming the male parasaur, we can actually breed them and harvest the baby tech parasaurs for electronics, metal, and oil, which is super helpful if I can keep this thing from getting eaten by Dilophosaurs right as we speak. So great, thanks. Get away from there, dude. I am trying to tame that. I'm on a mission. No, leave me alone. Like, okay, cool. So hopefully this one's not too high level, but I don't think I'm going to have any problem with these guys. Having a crossbow pretty much can destroy any dilos you run into pretty easily. That was a cool color though, you know, would look nice with our other orange one we got. But hopefully that Parasaur didn't run too far and we can chase him down with our Pteranodon, or maybe he just totally lost interest and he's just wandering again. Cool. Okay. This guy might be a lot easier than we thought. So I'm going to use a bola because that's the best way to keep them from running. They run like crazy the second you hit them with anything, but they can't do anything if you just bola them. And we're just going to beat this guy with a club because that is my favorite way to knock out dinos. It's really easy, doesn't cost a lot, and we don't have to bother with tranquilizers. And I'm pretty sure this guy's a relatively low level, so there you go. Not a problem at all. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. So he is unconscious, and I've got a couple berries that I could feed him, but we have been growing lots of carrots that we use to tame that unicorn, and they're continuing to grow. So I'll grab some of those from our base and come right back, and we'll tame him crazy fast. So we just got back to the base, made sure everybody is well fed, and check this out, we've got our nice little garden growing carrots and corn, and I'm just going to grab a few carrots because this guy is a pretty low level parasaur. I think he's going to tame up pretty quickly, and we probably only need a few carrots to finish taming that guy. So this whole time he has been starving, and he's going to be quite hungry by the time I get back there, but just wanted to double check here real quick, grab a couple cryopods which we stored in our storage. And one thing I forgot to mention is cryopods only last for 30 days. Once they run out of their spoil timer, they actually stop working, and whatever dino you have in the cryopod instantly dies. That's a bad thing. You got to make sure that doesn't happen. So before that happens, make sure you transfer all of your dinos out of your expiring cryopod cryopods and put them in new ones, and that'll work out just fine. You just have to make new ones every month. If you put them in a refrigerator, they'll actually last for twice as long, and you can last for 60 days. And once you get cryo fridges, you can actually recharge them in the cryo fridge, so they'll gain their time back and be okay again. Now, before we do anything, I want to check out this seagull and see if it is a male. Okay, it's a low level. You know, what the heck? Let's see if we can tame this too. Oh, perfect. I love when they do this. Okay, gonna hit him with a bola so he can't get away, and then we're just gonna beat him with that same club we used on the Parasaur. And if we get really lucky, he will... Oh, nope. We lost the club. Had too little durability. So we'll try punching him, see if this will work. Probably won't, but... Nope, he's dead. So that's why ichthyornis are so stinking hard to tame, and why I have a very love-hate relationship with them. They are super helpful if you can pull off taming them, but most of the time they end up dead and you end up losing all of your stuff, because they will steal your tools, they'll steal your food, and just eat it in front of you. They're such jerks. Even if you let them steal tranquilizers, they don't not get knocked out by them, they just eat them and they're gone. So here we go. We have basically instantly tamed this guy for over half of his taming. Oh, looks like even more than that. So, yeah, super easy, super quick tame for this guy. He's only level 13, and, wow, that's actually super fast. Yeah, this is why I love using vegetables for taming herbivores, especially low-level ones, because that's just going to rack up really quickly. So while we're waiting for this guy to tame up, which won't take too long, let's jump over and pick up our other tech Parasaur in a Cryopod, because we may as well. It's actually right on the beach across from here. So before picking up the other tech Parasaur, we ran back to the base just to make sure everybody had enough food and everything, and checked this guy one more time just to make sure he wasn't going to run out, and check it out, he is already tamed up. That only took a few minutes, and that was super easy. Totally worth the trouble, and he's actually a really cool looking tech Parasaur too. Now, I pulled out the Cryopod. It's just like any weapon, you put it in your inventory and use it just like a weapon, and as you can see, I'm holding it up against him when I'm holding down the right trigger. And if you hold that for a few seconds, it's going to have those little blue hexagons start showing, and we'll be able to just grab it into our inventory just like that. And now I've switched the cryopods. I've got a different cryopod in my hand. You can see, if you look really closely, when I put something into the cryopod, if you look at it in my hand, it's got a little DNA double helix kind of thing sitting there on the cryopod. So that's how you know there's something in there when it's holding in your hand. You're also going to see when it's in your inventory that it actually shows the dinosaur's face, and that's how you can tell which dinosaur is in that cryopod really easily. It basically turns the dino into an item that you can just throw. And what is this? I'm going to see if this is a female tech Parasaur, because if it is, it will be pretty helpful. That'll actually speed up our breeding program quite a bit. And it looks like it's a male, so we'll just see if we can kill it. And normally I would bola this thing, but I want to have a little bit of sport here, get some target practice, and see if I can hit this guy enough while he is on the run, just for fun. So looks like this is going pretty well. He's already pretty bloody, and of course, you know, that's motor oil, not blood, because he's just, whoa, he is shorting out pretty badly there. Wow, that's fun. So this is a machine, you know, he should not be bleeding, but he does actually look bloody. So check it out, we got some element dust, lots of oil, some electronics, and what the... Okay, there's a rock just floating in the sky, because that's cool. Totally normal, right? Just happens all the time. Alright, great. Well, that's a fun one. So I love the little glitches that can happen in Ark, but you know, it's especially fun when you got something like that just floating up in the sky, right? Love it. So now we got a little extra bonus oil and some scrap metal, which we can actually put into the forge and get metal ingots out of it. And that element dust is going to come in really handy later when we're actually making element to fuel our tech stuff. So that's why it's going to be worth breeding a bunch of tech dinos, because we can actually harvest them just like I just did with that tech dino and have an unlimited supply. And we're going to try to put together an automated harvesting machine to get infinite metal and and oil and all that good stuff in a while, but we'll get to that, and it'll happen relatively soon. And I think I might be able to grab enough materials to make another cryopod from that loot drop, so we'll do that in just a minute. But for now, we will deploy our tech parasaurs. We've got 2 of them, and we can actually start them breeding right away, because the moment you tame a dinosaur, it's actually ready to lay eggs. So we're going to bring these up here, and thankfully our female tech parasaur never died while it was down on that beach for a long time. And of course, they always poop right when they get out of that cryopod, because they've been in there for a long time, and there's no bathrooms in a cryopod, just saying. But that's actually a great way if you need fertilizer right away. Just pull out one of your dinos that's in a cryopod and deploy it, and you'll get some poop. Now, normally, after you use this, you're going to get a debuff called cryo sickness, and you have to wait, I think, 5 minutes. And if you put one out just like I just did, it will come out with cryo sickness and pass out for the entire duration that it would be knocked out if you knocked it out with like tranquilizers. But I've actually changed the setting for now just to make it a little faster so I don't have to wait around, so it's actually not going to give me cryo sickness. So I'll go ahead and enable mating on both of these guys. And now that they're standing right next to each other, we got the hearts. I'm going to pick up some more fertilizer so we can grow more carrots and tame more herbivores more easily. And we'll give them a little privacy, and pretty soon we should have an egg. And sure enough, we have a shiny new tech parasaur egg. Emphasis on shiny, isn't that beautiful? Like, I feel like it's like a Fabergé egg we should just put in a display case or something. But we are going to try to hatch that later, and we'll have a new tech parasaur, hopefully a female, so we can continue breeding them even faster. But eventually, we'll have a whole herd of parasaurs. We'll have a tech parasaur farm, and we'll use that to get all kinds of really helpful materials from that. And as you can see here, we also made one more cryopod, so those are going to be really helpful in our future expeditions. We'll be able to fly across the map, tame something, and put it in the cryopod so we can fly back with a pteranodon instead of having to actually walk all the way back home with whatever we've got and hope it doesn't die along the way. And we'll finish actually getting these babies to the point where they're juveniles, which means they'll be able to eat out of the feeding troughs and feed themselves, and at that point we can actually leave them home alone. They'll babysit themselves with that unicorn, and because we won't have to hang around the house anymore, we can go on some expeditions way out into the Crystal Isles using our brand new pteranodons, which are going to be much better than the old ones. And since we can finally leave the house without having to worry about our babies dying, we can go on some more expeditions and tame some more cool stuff, check out some other biomes and areas of the Crystal Isles in the next episode. So keep an eye out for that, and make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to enable all notifications, because I'm not 100% sure if we'll actually be live or not. Depends on how our internet is holding out, which will be much better soon. If you missed the news, we are getting fiber optic in the next month or two, hopefully. So keep an eye out for that. That means we can stream in much better quality and have much more stable streams. But until then, we're still trying to do the best we can, and I'm not 100% sure if we'll be live or doing some offline recordings like this one, but hopefully we will be coming back to you very soon. And I know Jen wasn't on this episode. Some of you guys are probably wondering why. She actually got a full-time job this month, and she's still adjusting to her brand new job, so it might be a little while before she hops back on her live streams, but we should see her again soon on the channel. And now that we are finally through the holiday craziness, which for me has been like September until now, yikes, what a crazy holiday season, especially with work, but we are finally through all of that. 2020 is finally over, thank God, right? And we are finally moving into our new year and catching up on videos, so we should have a lot more videos coming out really soon. Also, drop a comment and let us know some suggestions for the name of this cool blue tech parasaur male that we just tamed. The female's name is Sky. I don't know, maybe something ocean related would be cool for the guy. Just suggesting. So let us know in the comments what you guys think. We will definitely check those all out. We love to hear your suggestions. You guys come up with some great names, and that way we can name it after something you guys suggest. So let us know in the comments, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That always helps us out a lot. And stay tuned for more videos on this channel really soon. So until next time, we hope you guys all stay safe, have fun, happy New Year, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video.
If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media so your friends can enjoy it too.
And make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to enable all notifications, because we have lots of awesome new guides, tips, tricks, live streams, and Let's Plays for Ark and other awesome games coming soon, and you won't want to miss any of that.
We already have lots more fun and helpful videos just like this one, so check out the links at the end of this video to keep watching. You can also chat with other gamers if you join our channel's Discord at the link in the description.
If you want to earn great rewards while supporting this channel, click the join link next to the subscribe button for more information about our channel memberships. We want to give a big thank you to some of our biggest supporters of this channel: Sabo0283, Cole Parmenter, Emmy Fisher, Wolfgirl Be Like, Kelly Razak, and Ashley Owens. Thank you all so much for everything you do to make this channel possible.
So until next time, we hope you have fun on your own video game adventures, and
We will see you in our next video.